Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are touring the Range Rover Autobiography, which is actually a special version than the base model that we always see. Now I'm super excited to show you guys why this car is so special. But before I do, I have a huge favor to ask you guys. A lot of you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, and it will really help this channel a lot if you guys subscribe and drop a comment below. We'll be able to tour these amazing cars and the amazing mansions to come. I would really, really appreciate it. And for now, guys, let's go check out this car. Now, the specs of this car, it's 525 horsepower. Something really interesting is the fact that this car has some motors that are electric. Now, Range Rover is planning to actually go fully electric soon. Obviously, this is the Autobiography Range Rover, so it's far more powerful than the original base model. We're looking at 525 horsepower, and this engine was actually sourced from BMW and was in the 750i. Now, moving over to the front of the car, obviously we've got the Land Rover badge here. We can see the Range Rover, pretty standard, but the grille is actually a lot smaller than the other SUVs that we've seen, especially now. So this is pretty small, but then we've got these champagne accents all the way throughout the car. Now, the front isn't very interesting because the back is where it's all at. Now, the wheeling itself is pretty standard. We've not really seen much change with this, but you can see in the rims that we've got this gorgeous champagne rose gold feature that we saw around the grille. Now, I want to talk to you guys about the key. This is a standard Range Rover key, but we've got the SV behind it. And I mean, it's pretty standard, plastic, nothing special right there. So moving on to the tail lights, I mean, this is completely minimalistic. I love how they've concealed it. And here we have that rose gold or champagne around the tailgate as well. Now, I'm going to open the tailgate to show you guys, but this is actually concealed very well and you can control it with a key. So this Range Rover has the split tailgate design, and each tailgate area can actually be opened independently. Now, the reason why they designed this, I mean, it's a hallmark for Range Rover, obviously, but as we know with Range Rovers, most of the time you have a family or you have a big group of people. This is great for entertaining, so you can actually have a picnic here. They even have these cushions where you can actually sit down on this area. I did, however, try, but I'm a bit nervous, so we're going to skip that for now. Now, moving on to this side of the car, something that we saw in the Mercedes, which is the Maybach, if you push this, this opens up, which actually makes it very easy for someone like me to get into the car. I always find whenever I'm in SUVs, I have to jump down and I have no support, which can actually lead to an injury. So we're going inside the car, and it's very, very assisted. It's very helpful for someone of my size. Now, moving on to the interior of the car. Sitting inside this car, I can't say that I'm like incredibly comfortable because, I don't know, this leather feels incredibly soft, which is obviously stunning. You've got the hand stitching, but I know I'm going to be very comfortable, especially if I want to get rid of the sun and I want to shut the blinds, especially living in Dubai, and you can handle it all through this screen, which is super cool. And it doesn't even have to go all the way. You can actually control where you want it to stop. So you don't actually have to have the sunroof all the way down and have no sun at all. You can just have it halfway through, which I think is a great touch. Now here we even have, everything's a bit concealed, which looks very clean, very aesthetically pleasing, especially if you're in this car, but you can actually have your coffee cups and it opens up and you control it all through this screen here. Now, if you have got a coffee and you want a bite to eat, maybe you can have a table just come up. I mean, how seamless and clean is this? I like the finishing, the choice of the wood that Range Rover actually used, and it doesn't feel cheap. Actually, it doesn't actually feel cheap, not compared to the Maybach if I'm honest with you, and I quite like this. And you can just push this down, have this table go back down, and everything look extremely clean. Now, another thing is that you can actually control the climate. So you can actually purify the air in the car, which I think is pretty crazy, especially if you live somewhere like Dubai, or if you're driving this car in London. This is just fantastic for that. You can control the lights here as well, so you can have, I don't know, red lighting, you can have orange, ocean blue, which I think would look amazing during nighttime, and you can actually see at the front, and you have it here as well. So I think that is a pretty nice touch. Obviously, a car like this, you have a fridge, so you can open it up and you've got enough space for a bottle of water now, or a couple of bottles of water. The coolest thing about this car are the seats. Now, you can control it here. Here we have the seats. Now, if you're sat in this seat, for example, you can actually recline this seat all the way back, and this seat actually automatically goes forward. And I'm going to show you guys how that's done. Come and check this out. This is so cool, guys. I mean, look how this reclines all the way forward, so this seat can be comfortable. Now, it actually brings out this as well, so you've got a nice space for your feet, but the screen itself adjusts. I mean, how crazy is that? But the thing is, only this seat can do it. This seat can't do it because obviously the driver has to drive. You can't be all the way reclined forward to the steering wheel. Now, we even have a massage area for these seats. We can be sitting back, enjoying and getting a massage done while you're on the way somewhere. You're on the M1, you're on Shakeside Road, I don't know. Whatever road that has the most traffic for you, you can get a massage while you're sat here. Now, these seats, this actually adjusts, and you can actually curl it for your head shape. Now, I've got a really small head, and this is just perfect because I always find the other headrests are just not comfortable, and this is just absolutely fantastic. Imagine getting a massage, this, your feet up, and you are just relaxing. You've got the blue lights on. I mean, Range Rover, you didn't do too bad. Another thing, you've got heated seats as well, and you can control which area you want to be hot. So let's just say you have cold hands and feet like me. You can have the feet area be extremely warm, and so you can even have these arm areas as well, which I think is pretty insane, because every time I put, let's just say, heated seats on, my whole body's getting warm. If you've just got cold feet like me, you are good in this car. So here itself, we've seen the screen. You can actually control everything like you can control here on this screen, which is obviously touch screen. And then I mentioned to you guys about this stunning wood. This is actually wood veneer, and I think it just looks great. You've even got it on the doors as well. Another feature that Range Rover's done is that we have this button here. Now, this button can actually control both of those windows if you press it twice. And if you put up the window, let's just say here, let's put the sunshades up, and it actually syncs together. You just have to push it down once because the sunshades come down, and if you push it down one more time, the windows come down, which I think is pretty cool, but can be annoying if you've got an annoying sibling. And it does sync together, which I think is just pretty good, really. Now, we're going to move on to the front of the car, and I'm going to show you guys the steering wheel. Going into this car, we've got this gorgeous step that I mentioned to you guys earlier. Really helps me up into an SUV, which I think other companies have to take note, you know? Now, when we're in this car, as you guys can see, very minimalistic. We've got the leather here, we've got the wood that we saw at the back. Everything follows in. They wanted to keep it very clean. They didn't want to overbear it, which I think they've done a great job on that. Now, this is a four-wheel drive and also a four-wheel steering wheel. So this actually allows more maneuverability. Now, moving on to this area, I mean, it's pretty clean. You've got a nice space here. You've got enough space to charge your phone. You've got this, which actually opens up, where, I mean, this is pretty old. I don't know why they have this cigarette thing. I mean, I didn't think that Range Rover would still have this. I mean, this is probably why my brother absolutely loves Range Rovers, because he's a chain smoker. So I can see why he opted in. So moving on to the tech, because that is where it's all at. I mean, this doesn't really have much going on. We've got the standard wheel, you've got the Range Rover badge here, the same sort of doors that we've seen where you can actually control the seats on the side of the doors, and then obviously the windows. But the tech here is where it's all at. Moving on to the digital screen, which for me is such an amazing thing that they've done, is normally when you're looking at the screen behind the wheel, you're not really getting the navigation. You just get how fast you're going. You've got the petrol. I mean, it's pretty standard of what you can see, but here you've got so much going on, and I think it's such a cool factor that they've added to this car. Now, this is quite the obvious tech that we've seen, but something that I think is incredibly cool that I forgot to mention is you can actually control the glove box electronically. I mean, and the top one and the bottom one as well. So, I mean, this actually opens up, and it's pretty cool. I'm really impressed. I quite like what they've done with it. I like that it looks very futuristic, but it still has Range Rover's character and imprint on it, essentially. Now, moving on to the screen, the tailgate event suite is actually pretty cool. So this will only work if the car is parked up. So let's just say that you are having a picnic with your family, you are parked up, you guys want to stop over, you press the tailgate event suite button, it opens that up. And the thing is, this actually only works when you're parked up, as I mentioned, but the speakers in the tailgate will work. So that will be the only thing that's on in the car. So you guys can be having your picnic, relaxing, listening to a podcast, having a glass of champagne, whatever might choose your fancy. But Range Rover have prepared that for you and made sure that you enjoy your British summer very, very nicely. So this is pretty cool. We have the Apple CarPlay, the Android Auto, the Valet mode, but you can actually control the climate here, where you can actually do the air quality, which is actually pretty insane. And then here, another thing that I wanted to show you guys is, remember I told you guys I love the side step that comes up to help me? This actually opens up and you can control that here as well. Another factor that's pretty insane is that you have an option here where you can actually do a deep clean in the car, which you can actually schedule it, which I think is pretty insane. I like the fact that they've added so many things on this screen and added so many different types of tech. You've got the car ride height, so if you're off-road, if you're normal, it depends on, you know, what sort of driving you're doing. You've got different sorts of modes within this Range Rover. Now, I think this bit is very, very important to me, because we had floods here in Dubai not that long ago and not a lot of cars survived. And it seems to me that this car is made for going through water. Now, I don't know how much water it's able to go through, but let's check it out. It says the max is 0.77 meters. I don't think it would have survived the floods in Dubai. But, I mean, good try. Well done, Range Rover. At least you tried. Now, another thing that I've seen in this car that is pretty cool is the cameras. You've got the cameras. It shows you, and they're actually on top of the roof, which actually looks pretty insane. I'm quite impressed with this car, I must say. Do I think it's worth the price that they're asking? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? I'm not sure about it. I still don't think it has that luxurious feel. But if you're a family and you've got a bunch of kids and you want to enjoy this car, you know, why not? Why not pay $400,000 for a Range Rover Autobiography SV? Who knows? Now, I'm going to take you guys to the front of this car. Now, I didn't expect I would actually enjoy touring this car as much as I did, seeing as I see so many of them on a daily basis. But I have to say, I've thoroughly enjoyed exploring this Range Rover, especially the Autobiography version. I'd like to thank VIP Motors for allowing us to tour this car, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments what car you want me to tour next. It really does help us. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys very soon.